Hi, Jeremy Cordeaux in the Court of Public Opinion. I'm just on air here to let you know that we'll be live streaming the Court of Public Opinion every Friday between 9 o'clock and 12 on jeremycordeaux.com. Please join us. We'd love to have you. I've been putting a call in to Michael Boughen. Now, Michael Boughen is the producer of a wonderful show. And I saw it for the first time. It's been around, but I saw it for the first time last weekend. A great TV show. In fact, the second series of Muster Dogs is on the ABC on Sunday nights now. It's all about, it's about sheepdogs. Sheepdogs. It's a lot more than that, really. The first series was on Kelpies, I think.
Correct.
Aha, there he is. Michael, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Jeremy, and good morning to you all and to your listeners.
Happy Australia Day.
And back at you, really is. It's a little damp over here where I am, but it'll improve.
And being a former South Australian, you'd know the name Leon Biner, and if Leon wants to jump in, please feel free, Leon.
Oh, absolutely. I love dogs.
And he loves dogs.
Loves dogs.
Hello, Leon. Yes.
No, it's a beautiful show because I think it pushes all the right buttons. But who was it? W.C. Fields, who said never act with children or animals. They tend to steal the show.
Yeah, well, I guess that is exactly what it is. The animals, and particularly these amazing dogs, do steal the show, and they're incredibly smart. They're incredibly switched on. They love what they do, and we track them from their birth right through for a 12-month period. So we see that development as a young pup, with all the faults of a young pup, all the way through to becoming what we consider a really good working dog at the end of 12 months. Which is, and hello, I agree with that doggy.
Yeah, outside there is I think Katie's a border collie. Yeah. And probably would like to round things up as well. You know, it's a lovely idea for a show, and I can frankly imagine it being successful, but I don't know that anybody realised how successful it would be coming in with the number one most watched show on the ABC for the year of 2022. That's amazing, isn't it?
It's an incredible.
That's a hit.
It's a hit. It's an incredible result, and it's a testament to an awful lot of people's dedication, help, belief, and certainly to the participants and the way they embraced the series. They knew little about it. They knew little about ambience entertainment, but they came on board. We got one, which was Rob Tunks, and then Rob introduced us to a few other people, and slowly we gained their confidence, and they all came on board, and we just knew that we had something special from the very first day. You could feel it. After I saw the first day's rushes, I went, okay, I know what this is. And the cameraman turned to me and said, this is going to be a hit. And it only shot for about 4 hours. But the point being that it was so in the zeitgeist of what rural Australia is, and it was touching real lives, showing things as they were. Nothing was contrived. It was all about trying to turn pups into pros, as Lisa says in the book.
Now, was it hard to sell the idea originally? Did you have to work hard to get these people to see?
Not so much. I mean, when we first pitched the idea, we had a very scant document, had a fairly good idea of where we're going. But when we sat down from the ABC, you could see their eyes. They immediately connected and realised, Joe Chichester and Cathal and Rachel Robertson, they realised immediately there was something in this. Now, that was brilliant to see that, because we'd known there was something in it. And it was more about the period of time it took to get it to a place where everyone felt that we were going to make a cracking show. So there were little tweaks here, little tweaks there. It was about finding the right people. It was about, getting the breeders right in Series 1, which Joe Spicer bred the dogs. And then in Series 2, Mick Hudson from Dubbo's bred the dogs. So we did an awful lot of research with people, just trying to make sure that we were in the zeitgeist of what country folk wanted to see and what city people would embrace, and that our participants would get wholeheartedly behind.
They are kind of amazing dogs, though, aren't they? It's almost like they can speak English and they have an instinct.
They very much do. It is a remarkable thing to see, even as tiny little pups of 4 weeks old. The one thing they want to do is round up. They want to herd. They want to sheep, cattle, whatever it is. They're really, really keen to get into that work mode, and it's something that they thoroughly enjoy and love and live for. They literally live for it. You know, we train them, or I should say the trainers and participants train them, but really all they're doing is educating and refining what is an inherent desire to work.
Well, some of them clearly are stars, aren't they? Some of them do it a hell of a lot better than some others. So
they are, but you get that in everything, even in football. You know, you can, as in cricket or whatever, wherever you go and whatever field you're in, some people excel, and some are fabulous, and some are good, and then some maybe not so good.
Well, working with animals, I suppose, is always tricky, but you don't, I guess, get the ego and the temperament that you might get from actors or other performers.
No ego with the dog. They are very much in, I will take my food and I want to work. And it doesn't matter whether it's rain, snowing, hot, they want to work. And it's and the good thing for that is for the rural community folks on the farms that, you know, these are ways of treating animals with respect, you know, working dogs and sheep and stock, looking after the health and welfare of all that, and also helping with the health and welfare of the farmers. You're not having to spend time chasing stock in buggies, helicopters, motorbikes. You know, you can be far more relaxed. And let's be honest, relaxed animals are far easier to handle and less likely to cause themselves injury, and or dogs and or farmers.
When I saw the show last weekend, I can't remember exactly how many puppies were running around.
10.
10? Is that all from the same litter?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So you got 10 puppies. And I thought to myself, if they were here, or if I was a farmer, I wouldn't be a good farmer, but all the dogs would be in bed with me. Now, I guess a sensible farmer would have a dignified distance between getting emotionally involved with the livestock.
Yes, they do. They love their animals and treat them with respect. But at the end of the day, the important thing for any dog handler, dog worker, musterer, is they are the alpha of the pack. So that's how it works. So that's why the dogs respond so directly to them and are really well trained. And by the way, I think if you had all 10 puppies in the bed, I don't think there'd be room for you, Jeremy.
There barely is with one Jack Russell at the moment. Leon, where do your dogs sleep?
They've got their own bed.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I've got two bamboo infrastructures with very lovely pillows.
Yeah.
And one's on one, and they know which one's which, and one's on the other.
What sort of dogs are they?
Papillon.
Oh, Papillon. Oh,
you know,
yeah, with the ears.
With the butterfly ears.
Butterfly ears, yeah.
And
yeah.
Dr. Harry says that they're some of the most intelligent dogs, and they are.
Yeah.
But they tend to be very loyal. They learn their discretionary habits early in life, which is great. I've got a doggy door in the family room, and they use that all the time.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, when somebody even comes near the property, even from the other side of the gate, they're on the case. Unreal.
Yeah. So they're
I
territorial.
used to have a German Shepherd too. But, of course, being a bigger dog, Elka was she was a handful, but a beaut dog. You got to walk them a long way to keep them from being too frisky.
But that's mutually good.
Yeah.
I mean, we all should get more exercise. Michael, so you've done Kelpies.
Mm-hmm.
And these are...
Collies we're doing now.
Collies. They're border collies? Border collies.
Border collies. They're Australian border collies, specifically bred by Mick Hudson from Dubbo, who's a champion, certainly a champion trialer. He's won the Australian New Zealand championships a number of times, and he's highly respected as a dog trainer, dog trialer and owner. But he's also a property owner. He has large properties. As he said, his paddocks are 10,000 acres. Oh. So he has a large number of dogs that he breeds and uses for himself. His father was a breeder as well, well known. Pip Hudson was a really well known breeder. So he's bred the Australian Kelpies. They're black and whites, like border collies. He's bred the collies, and they're black and whites, long haired, short hairs. They vary, but they are border collies with an Australian twist.
Now, at the end of the season, I guess you're going to have one of those puppies as a standout, aren't you? An absolute winner.
One will stand out above the others, yes. Look, it's always interesting, and I've learned a lot over the series, the progression of dogs. Some come on really quickly, and then they sort of plateau and stay where they are. Mm. Other dogs take a little bit longer to come on, and then suddenly they spurt on. But the conceit was, can you train a dog in 12 months to be a qualified member of your mustering pack and work? And the answer is most definitely. It takes effort, it takes time, but they can be trained, rather than 2 years. You can do it in 12 months if you apply yourself. And so far, we've proven that works really well. And, they come on in different stages, they do different things, but they're all inherently going to end up being wonderful muster dogs.
What would one of those puppies cost?
Well, interesting point. There have been puppies that have been sold, not puppies as much, older dogs, maybe 12 months old, as much as 25 to 35 and even more for those dogs.
25,000?
Yeah, thousand, not hundreds, thousands.
$25,000, Tony? Andy?
Yeah. And there's even been one
I
think has gone for 35,000.
So the winner of the series, if you like, the standout, you could just sort of hang on to him or her, and just with the money you'd get from breeding, I mean, you'd
could be.
Yeah, just think.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's but breeding also is a combination of the dog and the bitch that you join.
Which dog is the easiest to train as a muster dog?
Come closer, Leon, come closer.
Which dog is easier to train or have as a muster dog? Is there any particular breed?
No, look, I think they both have what I've observed, and this is my personal opinion. I think they both have a lot to offer, and they're both exceedingly interesting to train. Border collies like to be asked to do something. Kelpies like to be told, and there's a sort of slight difference in the way you approach them. But both of them are really, really good mustering dogs. It really comes down to what you require as a farmer on a property with your dog. Some people swear by collies. Some people swear by Kelpies. They're very different in their styles, but again, they are very capable of working on all sorts of stock, and it really is a personal choice. I don't believe there's a great deal of difference between the two of them as yet, but we will find that out soon.
Do they all have names?
Yep.
I mean, naming them would be a bit of an ordeal in itself.
You may have noticed that a lot of the dogs have different coloured collars. That is to help the owner understand which one's which as well. So they all have different coloured collars on them, so you can distinguish them at a distance and know who you're calling.
Imagine having a harem. You'd have the same problem, wouldn't you?
Well, it's this problem that I'm not going to have to worry about.
Well, I honestly don't know why it popped into my mind, but
look, I'll leave that one to you, Jeremy. It's all on your plate.
Thanks. With the first series being the most watched show that the ABC had in that year, now you've got this new series. What are you going to do next time? What's the breed to come next year?
We are currently filming Series 3 of Muster Dogs, again, all around the country. It takes 12 months to do it. Yeah. We're already in that process, and we are working a slightly different direction this time. We are looking at Kelpies and Collies in concert, shall we say. So we've got a some Kelpie trainers. We've got some collie trainers, and they've each got collies or Kelpies. So it's a really interesting dynamic.
So the different breeds, you need a different sort of approach if you're going to train the dog. Is that right?
Not specifically. I think dogs can be trained fairly generally. There are routines that you have to achieve. There are milestones that you must meet, and the first really thing is having a connection with the dog, being able to have what they and which I'm sure you've heard about is the Bluetooth connection, which is the dog responds to you and only you. Once you have that connection, then the process of developing the skill set of the dog along with your skill set becomes far easier, and it's able to progress at a pretty rapid rate. But the point being that you do need that connection to make that happen. And yes, the dogs, it's a known fact that Kelpies sort of proceed a little faster than collies, but I'm not, we'll see. That's what we're about to see. We're about to discover exactly how they stack up along side by side.
What's the history of man's best friend or a dog helping with a farmer? How far back does that go? Does it go back to Scotland, or does it go back to Europe?
I think it goes back a very, very long way. They've, the people realise quite quickly that dogs were able to maintain and herd and muster things, whether it was for bringing them towards some food or using them. Yeah. But certainly they've been around for a very long time, and fundamentally, the process of using dogs was developed way before mechanisation came into place. So that's what happened. I mean, I think Neil MacDonald, our dog educator and guru, has clearly identified that Australia had a very powerful dog program prior to the First World War. Yeah. And after the First World War, there was a huge dip because we lost so many young men who had come off farms and were trainers and were working with dogs. So many young men were never to come back to these shores, that slid away for a while. So we lost a lot of skill set that these people had, and it had to be rebuilt and remanaged again. And then mechanisation came in, and everyone thought that was going to be the way. But really, when you see these dogs doing what they do, you just realise how remarkable they are, and how much more pleasant it is for stock and farmers and everybody.
Yeah,
they really are.
And the environment too.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, makes a lot of sense. It's interesting that the dog is a pack animal, yet it can be immensely loyal to one person. And as you say, only hear the commands and take notice of one person.
Absolutely, it's the alpha male process, and you do get that, and it's important. And when I say alpha male, that transitions across to our female participants as well. They are seen as the leader of the pack.
But is there a what produces that pecking order though? If it's not gender, is it age or is it experience? If there's one leader of the pack. They don't have an election, do they?
No. The leader of the pack is the human. That's the leader of the pack. You've got the leader of a muster dog pack must be the human that is controlling the dogs.
I see.
Yeah.
Michael?
Internally, in fact, there's a lot of effort goes into making sure that all dogs, they're a very even level of, shall we say, there's no hierarchy within the dog pack as such. They're all equal, and they know that they're all equal, and they get on well together, and that's the point, because you can't have them fighting, bickering, growling, or any of that. It has to be a very comfortable environment for the dogs and certainly the trainer.
If they do have a Barney, do you edit it out?
We've never seen one.
Really?
Oh no, because the point being that when the dogs go to the trainers, they know the process and they're onto it immediately. There are signals. There are signals that tell you that the dog is doing this or doing that. But it's not that. If you know what you're looking for and you've got the skill set, you can identify that. Yeah, I must say I've been to a couple of Neil MacDonald schools where there's been 20 or 30 people and there's 20 or 30 dogs and they're all learning, and not a single Barney has happened.
I'll have to send Missy over to you guys and see what you can do with her. Which is the better at doing the job of mustering? Is it the male or the female?
I don't think it matters. I think they're equally. I think they're equally switched on to do that. They're. Yep. I've seen brilliant males. I've seen brilliant females. I think they're dogs that are innately bred to muster, and they love it.
Last question, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a dog?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
He's a Kelpie.
Did you get him from the show?
Yeah, sort of. I got him from one of the participants. Basically, he was a failed sheepdog. He didn't quite measure up.
Oh,
that happens, and he just didn't sort of switch on to it. So I have a Kelpie, and I have a small property in Victoria where I live, and he switched on about 2 years ago when he was racing around the chook yard, and we'd let the chooks out, and he started herding them. And it was an age thing for him. When he was a youngster, he didn't really get engaged with the process of herding and that. Now he can't wait to do it, and he's turning into a remarkable dog.
Wonderful to talk to you, Michael.
It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Leon.
What's your next project apart from a third series of muster dogs?
I'm working on a feature film with Bruce Beresford, which we hope to be shooting later this year.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, a new feature film.
Still under
Bruce.
wraps. Under wraps.
Still under wraps. It's been cast. We're just finalising our shooting schedule, but yeah, that's the next project, and there's a few other TV things in the wings as well.
Well, you shouldn't have any trouble getting backers.
He's a good man. He's a very nice fellow, and to be fair, the Ambience and Graham and Christopher and Penny.
Tell me about Ambience.
Ambience is a production entity that Matthew Street and I sort of got together on. It was a company that Matthew had, and I had a company called Concept, and we joined forces, and ultimately we just called it Ambience. And then Graham Mapp, in his great wisdom, decided that we might have something to offer, so he purchased Ambience, and we've been the production arm of Graham Mapp's company, Omnilab Media and Gem TV. And he has supported us for, 20 years now, I think. It's been a long time, almost 20 years we've been working and producing. And, he's great. Christopher and Penny are great. And Sue, obviously, everybody supports us with when Matthew and I come in with some crazy ideas. And we pitch muster dogs to Graham and the team. And it was... he was one that said, "That's a good idea," and he's an insightful chap.
No, he's a very smart businessman too. That's the point.
And he's been really good to supporting Matthew and I, and we appreciate everything that he does for us.
Michael, have a great Australia Day, what's left of it, and thank you for giving us all your valuable time this morning. Thank you.
Look forward to it. Thank you, guys. Enjoy your day.
Bye.
Michael Boughen. Hi, Jeremy Cordeaux in the Court of Public Opinion. I'm just on air here to let you know that we'll be live streaming the Court of Public Opinion every Friday between 9 o'clock and 12 on jeremycordeaux.com. Please join us. We'd love to have you.